For children, life's an adventure, a learning, growing time. They aren't aware of the threats life poses, but most parents are. Most parents worry about their child's health. They go to great lengths to protect their youngster from illness. They take special care in feeding or dressing their son or daughter, making sure their youngster is immunized against childhood diseases. And at the first sign of illness, they whisk the child off to the doctor for treatment. But unfortunately, many parents fail to protect their young children from the #1 threat to their lives: traffic accidents. Every day, some of the most loving parents risk their children's lives. Cars are so much a part of daily life that parents don't realize how much danger their youngster faces when riding unrestrained in a car. Today, 3 children under the age of 5 will die nationwide in auto accidents. Another 164 youngsters will suffer serious injuries. Injuries that may stay with them for the rest of their lives. In fact, 2 children will be injured in the short time it takes to watch this film. These children may have to deal with paralysis, loss of limb, brain damage, or epilepsy because of the accidents. It's a tough way for a young child to start life. Protecting children from accidental injury is simple, but most parents just don't know how. Pediatrician Mark Whittam explains.
Many parents think that all they need to do to protect their child passenger is to drive carefully, but that's not at all true. Sometimes even the most careful driver can become innocently involved in what turns out to be a horrible automobile crash. Few people realize how much energy is involved in a crash or a sudden stop. For example, in a crash at 30 miles per hour, an unrestrained child will hit the windshield or dashboard with the same impact as a fall from the top of a 3-story building. And because the children's bodies are top-heavy, they are usually propelled forward in a crash head first, like a missile. As a result, children are particularly susceptible to severe head and neck injuries. Many parents believe the safest way to transport an infant or child is to hold the child. Actually, this is a very dangerous situation. If there was a crash, the child would be propelled forward with such force that a parent couldn't possibly hold on. If the parent is also unrestrained, as this crash test from the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety demonstrates, the parents can also be thrown violently against the dashboard, crushing the infant. After receiving the best of care in the hospital, many mothers and their new babies ride home in this highly dangerous manner. Crash-related injuries have become a disease epidemic in themselves, especially among young children. The most reliable immunization that we have against this epidemic is the child safety seat.
As a prevention measure, child safety seats have an effectiveness rate of almost 90%. They do 2 important jobs. First, they spread the crash forces over the strongest areas of a child's body. Second, they keep the children in place so they don't hit the hard surfaces within the car, collide with the other passengers, or get thrown out of the car. There are 3 styles of safety seats: the infant carrier, the convertible seat, and the toddler restraint. In an infant carrier, a special safety harness built into the seat holds the baby in place. The seat, in turn, is securely fastened to the car by the existing safety belts. Infant seats are designed so the baby rides backwards in a semi-reclining position. This allows the crash forces to be spread over the strongest part of a baby's body, the back, thus protecting the fragile head and neck. Don't confuse the infant safety carrier with household baby seats. These seats are too flimsy to adequately protect an infant in a crash. Infant carriers should be used for newborn babies and infants up to 20 pounds, usually around 10 months old. At that time, they are strong enough to sit up and face forward. Either the convertible restraint or the toddler seat is now needed for protection. Convertible seats provide protection from birth to 40 pounds, usually around 4 years old. These restraints are used facing backwards for infants and then converted to a front-facing position when the baby weighs about 20 pounds and can sit up unassisted. Like the infant seat, convertible seats are secured to the car by the lap belt. The child is held in the seat by a harness system, a shield, or both. When the safety seat has a shield, make sure it is properly fastened down. If not, the shield may spring up, not adequately protecting the child. The third type of protection is probably the most familiar, the toddler seat. This seat is designed for older children between 20 and 40 pounds who can sit without support. The device usually consists of a seat with a harness system. It too faces forward and is anchored to the car by the seat belt. Some convertible and toddler seats raise children higher on the car seat so that they can see out the window. Some of these seats require a top anchoring strap or tether. Now, the tether keeps the seat and the child from leaning forward in a crash. In the back seat, the tether strap must be attached to a bracket on the car's rear window shelf or on the floor of a station wagon or hatchback. If the restraint is used in the front seat, the tether can be anchored to the rear safety belt. In either case, the tether must be used according to the manufacturer's instructions. If not, the seat won't give the child total protection. In general, all child safety seats should be installed in the back seat. That's the safest place in the car. If there isn't a safety seat available, a youngster should be buckled into the lap belt in the car's rear seat. This is better than letting the child ride unprotected. Also use the lap belt for children over 4 who weigh more than 40 pounds. When buckling a young child into an adult safety belt, make sure the child is sitting upright against the back of the seat. Adjust the belt snugly across the pelvis so it does not ride up against the child's abdomen. Although lap belts will secure a child in a crash, a child safety seat still offers the best protection possible. Buying a child safety seat can be confusing for parents. There are more than 20 different brands on the market right now. When shopping around, parents should read all the labels and instructions which come with the seat. Look for evidence saying the seat meets federal safety standards and passed dynamic crash tests. Before buying a restraint, parents should make sure the seat is suitable for their child's height, weight, and age. Allow room for growth and for a child's bulky winter clothes. There's no one model that's best. Choose a seat that's easy to use and comfortable for the child. Children seem to like seats that give them free arm movement and lets them see clearly. And of course, the seat should be suitable for napping. Child safety seats can be purchased at department stores, discount centers, juvenile furniture shops, catalog outlets, and from some car dealers. Many parents also obtain used seats at garage sales, thrift shops, or from family or friends. When considering used seats, make sure that they are crash tested and meet federal safety standards. Also, get a set of instructions for the seat. If the previous owner doesn't have the instructions, write to the manufacturer. Many times, parents can borrow or rent a safety seat through local hospitals or public service programs. Most loaner programs rent infant seats. Usually the seat can be borrowed for up to 10 months by paying only a small security deposit or rental fee. The deposit is then refunded when the seat is returned. Information on loaner programs can be obtained from local physicians, hospitals, or the State Department of Transportation. Although safety seats provide excellent protection against the traffic accident epidemic, only 20% of parents buckle their children into these devices. Why?
It takes too much time to buckle up my child.
About as long as it takes to change a diaper. Most parents don't think that's too long. Many new models are also designed for easy use.
Safety seats cost $30 to $60.
Yes, and so does a tricycle or a swing set. Are these too much? Parents spend a lot of money raising their children. How the money is spent is a matter of priorities. For the price of a toy that may soon be lost or forgotten, parents could save their child from a serious health hazard.
My son is active. He'd never stay in a safety seat.
Children will stay in car seats if parents insist, and they should insist, beginning from the infant's first ride home from the hospital. Most parents wouldn't drive a car if all the doors were open. It's an accepted rule. If parents would fasten seatbelts with the same conviction that they close car doors, few children would object to this rule either. Parents must make a firm rule that the car doesn't go until everyone is buckled up. Children are also more likely to stay in safety seats if the seats are comfortable and they're entertained. You can play games, bring along favorite toys. Make sure that they can see out the window. Parents have a lot to gain by insisting that their child buckles up. Not only is the child safer, but researchers confirm that children in safety seats are calmer and better behaved than children who are allowed to climb about while riding. Unrestrained children can also cause accidents by distracting or interfering with the driver.
Who's responsible when a child comes into the hospital seriously injured because he wasn't buckled up? If you could see what I see, if you could come to the hospital and see children bruised and broken, parents anxiously awaiting for word of their child's condition, I don't think you'd ever forget to use a child safety seat and buckle your child up.
Children can't protect themselves, so using a restraint is important. It only takes a few seconds to buckle up, baby, but those few seconds can save a child's life.